Hey guys, William here, and I'm here with another edition on March 21st of Something Else Vlogs for people who realize that they're searching for something else always. So today's vlog episode is going to be about how COVID-19 has affected me. I'm just going to go ahead and run back from when it started and just kind of give everybody a picture of where I was whenever it happened and as it happened, like up until this point. And also what I think about how it's gone down and what could have been better and what couldn't have been better and just how it played out for me. So I want to go ahead and invite you guys to go ahead and hit the like button. And if you don't like what you see, I invite you to leave right now and you never have to think about this again. And if you do like it also, you can subscribe, so I would appreciate that. So again, this is a vlog about people who just kind of have realized that we're always searching for something else. You ever get that thing that you wanted the most and then not too long searching for something else? What is that inside of us that keeps us searching? It is a beautiful thing. Beautiful experiences can come from it. It has in my life, and I'll go ahead and share about how that's happened right now in COVID-19 with me too. So going back to when COVID-19 started. So we started to hear about it, some murmurings of it, 2019 out of China, like some things are happening, and then January is getting a little bit louder, and February really loud. Like I remember I was in classes in February, and I think it was like the last week of February. My teacher had mentioned something about it, like, "Hey, there's something going on here, and we're meeting as a staff." I was going to community college at the time. We're meeting as a staff, and we're gonna figure out like what we're gonna do because we might need to do something. At the time, I didn't know what it meant, but first week of March, second week of March, found out, and they kind of stopped in class education. So we started, everything happened, turned online mid March for me. So I took off. Things were getting weird. They were telling everybody to wear a mask, and I understood it because, like, I didn't really want people who were vulnerable to get sick because of me. And so I like understood what was going on, but it was just really uncomfortable for me. All these rules and regulations, and people had all these opinions, and like I was just like, I'm out of here. Booked a flight to mainland Mexico, went to mainland Mexico, stayed on this beach in this little town that probably 60 people live in, and just surfed, got barreled, and just was on the shred session, and I got COVID-19 on my way down there in the plane. Like it must have been in the plane, right? So yeah, it was crazy because I was down there and I was like surfing in the morning, and then I would do school in the afternoon, and like was coughing and stuff, and like a couple days was pretty bad. Like I was at night, I was like, oh geez, I'm having trouble breathing, and like everything I had heard like on the media before I went down there was just like over sensationalized in my point of view. At the time, from my point of view at the time, it was like, oh, everybody's like freaking out. But like, yeah, I was down there and I was like having trouble breathing at night. But it didn't stop me from waking up in the morning and going surfing, and then getting my homework done. And yeah, I never got tested, but I kind of knew it was COVID-19 because I've been sick a lot of times in my life, and I've never been able to not smell or taste, and I couldn't smell or taste for like a couple weeks. So, and like, yeah, I've never had trouble breathing either when I got sick. Other than when I was really young, I had pneumonia. So, yeah, pretty heavy, but I had fun. I went to Mexico, and I surfed, and I met a couple new people, and hablando en español todo el tiempo, except whenever I was online in my classes. So it was pretty cool. Um, and then I came back, so that was March. I came back April, and then so I surf like all the time, like almost every day. And they closed down. I came back and was doing school, and they closed down the beaches. And I kind of struggled with that. Like after they closed the beaches, went out, and then I remember the sheriffs and the lifeguards like came out on the loudspeaker and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna start like giving people tickets that are still surfing." Um, so yeah, that was it. I stopped surfing during the week, and I would do school and started playing the guitar a lot more to get that creative flow going. And I would drive up to Newport on the weekends and go surf at the Wedge. And there were some pretty good swells last year, 2020. Um, During April, I got some really good waves and barrels, so it was kind of cool for that. But yeah, it was frustrating for me not to be able to go in the water, and I understood like the masks around other people and trying not to get people sick, but I didn't understand like why we couldn't go in the water. Just on all the science that had been out, I just didn't understand, so it was frustrating to me. But I respected it because it was what was happening socially, and I found a loophole because it wasn't happening socially in Newport. Newport wasn't having that happen, and I think that the governor tried to make them, and the mayor was just like, no, we're not going to do it because it's against whatever. I'm not getting into that, but the beach was open and I went, so it was fun, and it allowed me to maintain some sanity. And it was really cool. It was actually at that time like June. After that, so it was April. I started going there, and then May and June they were. That's when I was going through whatever I'm talking about right now. It's kind of tough for me, and I realized that it was a choice for me to make this whole COVID-19 experience either awesome or not. And at first, it was about how can I do that, and then I realized like I just have to stay true to myself and respect other people. And those two things aren't separate for me. Those two things are in conjunction because staying true to myself is being respectful to other people. So it was a huge learning lesson for me, and it was really cool to go through. So I did that, and I stayed true to myself, and I kept surfing. And July came around. There was a San Diego swell in July, and it was really good. And South swell overhead. Show you some pictures here, or at least one. And then, then September, I went back to Mexico for a couple weeks. And then October, and then I came back. Oh wait, no, before that, actually, May and June, I remodeled my backyard. I went ahead and I turned my backyard into, it was just like weeds and like plants and stuff, and I put pavers down, and I built a patio cover, and I did a jacuzzi. Put it in. My backyard is amazing now. So I'm stoked on that. And then, yeah, September went back to Mexico for a couple weeks. October, and then I came back. October, I went back to Mexico for a couple weeks again, and I rented a room out for $200 a month because I realized that this was going to be happening a lot, and I could do school online. It's $200 a month rent down there, and the cost of living is cheaper down there. So whenever I spend like a month down there, it's actually cheaper for me, even with paying $200 a month extra rent. So that was cool. So I drove down there, visited an old friend, and then November I went and I set up the room, like my room in Mexico, with like a desk and everything, so I could do school there full time. And then so December and January I went back to San Diego, spent time with family for the holidays, and scored like it was almost like 4 weeks in a row we had a swell. And I was just like surfing every day and like surfed out, but the surf was like pumping still, so like I went out and just like surfed out in my brain, and then I went to Mexico right after that in mid-January, and like the surf's been pumping the whole time there. So I went to Mexico from mid-January, just got back last week, and I'm here for 2 weeks spending time with my son because he's on spring break, and we're just hanging out tough because I've been gone for like almost 2 months, and he just said he wanted to hang out with me the whole spring break. We're doing that, and then I'm going back to Mexico for a month, and there's going to be some big swell. So, I mean, COVID-19's been pretty it's been pretty cool for me, dude. It's been really cool, and I think a big part of it was that realization that I had that was like, okay, like stuff's always gonna happen. I'm never gonna be able to control anything. The only thing that I can control is myself. And can I control myself? And let's work on that, William. Like, let's work on you doing what you want to do and you being the person who you want to be. How do you want to eat? How do you want to sleep? Let's make it happen. That's what you can control. You can't control this external stuff that's going on in the world when viruses pop up and what we are and aren't able to do. And so if I'm going to have to deal with that, and then how am I going to deal with that? And then I kind of just went inward, and it's like, okay, like I want to eat healthy. I want to surf all the time. I want to do really good in school. I want to like be respectful of other people. And I'm like, let's do it. And I got to work, and I've been doing it, and it feels pretty rad. And I'm super grateful for this whole experience of taking time out. And I've been working. I do kind of like counseling things, and I've been seeing people online this whole time through this, and yeah, it's been a blessing for me, and I'm actually really grateful for it. And I think that this whole thing for some people, hopefully more people than not, are going to see this as a blessing rather than like something else. And we're going to be able to have that attitude of being grateful for what we do have. And just that in and of itself, for me, makes life rad. So again, if you guys like this channel, please like, please subscribe. If you don't, I invite you to leave and never come back. No, thanks for your time, you guys. Take it easy.